As you saw in Kristen's story, the American Sugarcane League is looking for ways to increase money for research. To tell us more about that is Avery Davidson, who is standing by with this week's in-studio guest. Avery?
And Mike, thus far that research has been put to good use. Yields are up this year. Joining me now is Jim Seamon with the American Sugarcane League. I knew we just saw you in the story there, but Jim, tell me a little bit about how things are looking with this year's harvest.
Well, the crop is turning out to be a decent crop. It won't be a great one. Our tonnage is off just a little bit, but the sugar content per ton is very, very good. So we'll produce about the same amount of sugar as last year, maybe fewer tons, but all in all, it's going to be a good crop. The guys are getting in the fields, getting lots done, and relatively speaking, harvesting expenses down with these great harvesting conditions. So.
Well, I know prices are pretty good for sugarcane growers right now, but you guys are still getting pretty much the same prices you have for about the last 20 years there with the American Sugarcane League. The voluntary dues are still 10 cents per ton per producer and 10 cents per ton per the mill.
Correct.
Oh, and what does the future hold there?
Well, we, as an organization, have prided ourselves in being effective in research. That's the first leg of what we do, research, and then government relations and other activities. So research is very, very important to us, and as things have gotten tighter in the public arena, state budgets and federal budget cuts, so we rely on a lot of that money for supporting research. We're trying to understand and look at ways to improve the revenue that we get from our growers so that we can continue to do those things that are so important, the variety development programs and that kind of stuff. So we're in the midst of considering some alternative ways to raise revenue, and looking at grower dues and mill dues as a function of that is something that we're currently considering, and give a good look at what we can do to make sure that our growers continue to receive those fine sugarcane varieties that we've been so well known for.
I know that a lot of folks have been concerned about the research that could be done here in Louisiana because of cuts to the LSU Ag Center. And we've seen in some of the stories which Kristen has done how the American Sugarcane League has stepped in to help out. Tell me a little bit about the importance of the Audubon Sugar Institute and that cooperation between the American Sugarcane League and the LSU Ag Center.
Yeah, there's a three-way agreement between the Ag Center, the USDA Research Station, and the American Sugarcane League that drives everything we do, and that agreement dates back into the 1920s. So it's just a crucial way of what we do. The Ag Center is very important to us, not only in processing research, which is done at Audubon, the Audubon Sugar Institute, but the St. Gabriel Research Station, which is where the Variety Development Program is undertaken. We work very closely with the Ag Center, and the Ag Center, in the midst of all of these budget cuts, has committed to prioritizing their spending and making sure that their funds are placed into the avenues that are most important. And sugarcane being the #1 leading crop from a value perspective in the state, it's important that the Ag Center continue to do that, and they've committed to support us.
Yeah, $1.8 billion industry, and especially now with Florida sort of stepping back from that so-called lead role. I think Louisiana's really led when it comes to research, especially we're the northernmost point at which you can grow sugarcane. That must make us sort of the leader across almost around the world when it comes to sugarcane research.
Yeah, the facilities that we have at USDA and at LSU are really world-class facilities. I mean, it's not uncommon for folks to visit other sugar-producing, cane-producing nations and see, in essence, old varieties that were developed here in Louisiana. So, we're growing a crop that's really a tropical crop in almost an arid environment. So, taking that crop and modifying it to meet with the conditions of Louisiana is crucial to our existence.
Well, Jim, we appreciate everything you do. He is Jim Seamon with the American Sugarcane League. So, Mike, you got to imagine if you were still operating on the same budget you had 20 years ago, you'd be looking at certain changes, and I think that's what's coming for the American Sugarcane League. Back to you.
Avery Davidson, thanks. Still to come on This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the nurturing side of our own Kristen Oakes in this week's Ag Minute. Stay with us.